All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're tackling one of the biggest, most tangled messes of our time, the huge, messy fight between artificial intelligence and copyright law. Seriously, this is a clash that could literally define the future of creativity as we know it.
So, to really get what's going on, we have to start with a legend. The story goes, way back in ancient times, there was this impossible, tangled knot in a city called Gordium. An oracle said whoever could untie it would rule all of Asia. So everyone tried and failed until Alexander the Great shows up. He takes one look, doesn't even try to untie it, pulls out his sword and just slices it right in half.
And that ancient story? Well, it's the perfect metaphor for today's battle. Right now, intellectual property law in the age of AI has become our generation's Gordian Knot. It's this incredibly complex, seemingly impossible problem that is pretty much everyone scratching their heads. So let's really get into the heart of this thing. What we're looking at is a massive tug of war. On one side, you've got artists and creators. On the other, you have the tech giants building all this AI. And you know what's stuck in the middle, getting pulled apart? The very idea of creativity itself. It really breaks down into two opposing camps. You've got the creators, artists, writers, coders, and they're looking at their life's work being scraped by AIs without their permission, and they're screaming, that's theft. But then you have the tech companies, and they're arguing that, hey, for innovation to happen, they need access to all this public data. It's the fuel for progress. Now, to really understand why this knot is so tough, you have to look at all the different threads that make it up. This isn't just one single fight, you know? It's actually a whole bunch of different battles happening on different fronts all at the same time. Okay, so the first thread is this really tricky legal idea called fair use. It's a rule that says you can use copyrighted stuff in a limited way for things like, say, research or commentary. But here's the million-dollar question. When an AI model learns from millions of copyrighted images, does that count as fair use? The courts are trying to figure that out right now, and it's a huge deal.
And this is where it gets really personal. We're seeing tons of visual artists suing AI companies. Why? Because these models can now mimic their unique personal art styles in seconds. I mean, imagine spending your entire life developing your craft just to have an AI learn it and spit out a copy. They feel like their artistic identity has been stolen to create a machine that's now their competitor.
And this fight isn't just about pretty pictures. It's happening with code too. You've got AI tools like GitHub's Copilot that were trained on billions of lines of code from public websites. The problem is, a lot of that code was posted under open source licenses that have very specific rules, like you have to give credit. So now the programming world is up in arms and there's a massive legal fight brewing. Now this chart does a great job of mapping out the whole battlefield. You can see the legal pressure is all focused on that fair use question. The public outcry, the protests, that's coming from the artists. The biggest technical headache is all about the code. But look at that last line. The thing that's really shaping all of this is government regulation, especially huge new rules like the EU's AI Act. Which brings us right back to that Alexander the Great moment. We're faced with this impossible knot of legal, creative, and technical problems. So what's the world going to do? Do we try to patiently, carefully untie this thing, thread by thread? Or does someone just grab a sword and cut right through it? At the end of the day, we're really looking at two main ways forward, and the path we choose is going to have absolutely massive consequences for the future of both technology and creativity. It's either the slow and careful route or the fast and decisive one.
So, path A is the untie the knot approach. This means we play the long game. We let the court cases drag on for years, we let companies slowly figure out new deals for licensing data, and we just let the law evolve piece by painful piece through endless negotiations. It's careful, for sure, but man, is it slow.
Then you've got path B, the Alexander approach. Just cut the knot. This is all about bold, decisive action from governments. We're talking sweeping new laws like the EU's AI Act that don't wait for the courts to figure it out. They just create a brand new rulebook for everyone from the top down.
And honestly, the stakes couldn't be higher. If we handle this the wrong way, we could be looking at a decade of legal gridlock and creative stagnation. But if it's done right, we could kick off an incredible new digital renaissance. The choice is really that stark. Okay, so with all this chaos and uncertainty flying around, if you're an artist or a writer or any kind of creator, you're probably asking, what can I actually do about it right now? Well, let's break down a practical survival guide that comes straight from our source material.
Look, this isn't about sitting around and waiting for governments or courts to save you. Here are 4 real, concrete things that creators can do today to start protecting their work in this new AI world. First thing, start using invisible watermarks. Think of it like a secret digital fingerprint that you embed right into your files. There are tools out there that do this, and it means that if a dispute ever comes up, you can prove that work is yours, even if it's been copied or changed.
Second, you should really look into tools that poison or glaze your data. Sounds intense, right? But what tools like Glaze and Nightshade do is make tiny, subtle changes to your images. A person can't see them, but they totally confuse an AI model that's trying to learn from your style. It's like digital self-defense for your art.
Number 3, and this is a really big one if you do any kind of freelance or commission work, update your contracts right now. Just add a simple, clear sentence that says the work you're delivering cannot be used for training AI models. It's an incredibly simple legal shield that can save you a world of trouble.
And finally, step 4. If you're using AI in your own creative work, just be smart about it. Stick to using models that you know are built on ethically sourced and legally licensed content. A tool like Adobe Firefly is a good example. That way you avoid any risk of legal problems coming back to bite you later on.
So that leaves us with this one last giant question. Is a modern Alexander going to show up, whether it's a court, a new law, or some tech breakthrough, and just cut this knot for us? Or are we just going to stay tangled up in this mess for years, maybe even choking the future of human creativity in the process? The next few years are going to tell us everything.